And over here on the left-hand side of ESV Sanshorn Mist, we have our Red Terran player from Team Liquid, down 2-3 in this best of 9. Our challenger here at IPL Fight Club, it is TaeJa. And his opponent up 3-2 now on the back of a great 2-base Colossus timing. Our blue Protoss player from Prime, it is Creator. And as we mentioned before, this is kind of a preview of what you guys are going to see at Winners Round 3 in Team Arena Challenge. I don't think that Winners Round 3 is for another couple of weeks yet, but you will see Prime versus Liquid in that, as Liquid defeated Mouse and Prime defeated Acer.
Yeah, looks like it could end up being a pretty exciting match if these guys are any indication here. TaeJa and Creator seem to be fairly evenly matched. And I mean, we kind of talked about this before the match started, that these players, although they've never met in tournaments or anything like that in recorded games, they still have kind of had parallel careers to a certain extent. You know, they've achieved success at about the same rate. They're both very, very good. So seeing them play right now, I'm not surprised at all that we have this score. And it could still go either way. I mean, we could see Creator.Prime close it out from here, win 2 more games, but we could just as easily see TaeJa come back, take the lead, and win as well. I just don't know what to expect here. I mean, this is great. I'm really enjoying this one.
The cool thing between these two guys as well is that sometimes we get in a best of 9, and we see, oh, okay, well, this is the 7th time that they've both opened this way, and they're just pretty much trying to test their might. They both think they're better than the other guy, and they're just going to go at it with huge armies.
Right.
In this case, though, we've seen a very, very different game in every circumstance. We've seen TaeJa go all the way from 1 racks and 3 command centers before anything else, all the way up to a very aggressive 3 racks factory build off of 1 base. On the flip side, Creator has bounced between, we saw that opening 7 gate on Daybreak in game number 1, all the way through his traditional double forge style to the 2-base Colossus we've seen. So it's been a very dynamic TVP so far, and we do see Nexus first out of Creator right away.
Yeah, both of these guys have a lot they can throw at each other, and they're both really doing a good job to try to throw each other off as well in terms of what to expect. So it is kind of cool seeing all these different looks that the players are giving each other here with that. One thing has kind of remained constant, though. It's nearly always, except for that one game on Cloud Kingdom, been a very aggressive early expand from both of our players, and this game is no exception to that. It is going to be a pretty quick command center and a pretty quick nexus for both TaeJa and Creator at this point.
That's right. So Cybernetic score coming down now for Creator.Prime, and we'll see what his strategy is going to be from here on out in this set. TaeJa, on the other hand, I never know with him. It could just as easily be another command center right now, which he is saving up quite a bit of resources. In fact, there's 400, and indeed we are going to see the 1 racks 3 command center build once again.
Interesting. Now, his former teammate Ganji on this map would constantly make a command center and float it to the island, so I was kind of, as this game was starting, I was kind of in the back of my mind, you know, thinking if we might see something like that, a kind of little bit of a reflection of his former teammate there. But no such thing this time. It was kind of interesting, too, how the Slayers Terrans kind of paired up to a certain extent. I mean, Ryung and MMA were kind of a pair, and then TaeJa and Ganji were kind of a pair in terms of practicing and interacting with each other and kind of swapping builds. So I was wondering, but it looks like TaeJa is going to play things a little bit more normal on this map. I think that's a good idea.
Well, of course, in the Slayers House, you had the obvious, you slap a mustache on Ryung, and of course, he becomes MMA.
Well, there you go, yeah.
Yes. Little known fact.
Yeah.
Well, 2 Zealots are making their way out now, try and put on some pressure, but of course, once again, TaeJa being very diligent with his bunkers over the front, unless the Zealots just decide to run on by, which they have enough health to do. Not really going to cause that much of a problem. Stalker catching up now behind as well.
Yep, and he's going to just test his front real quickly. Yeah, turn around. Decide not to do a whole lot. Wow, that Stalker getting a little bit overly aggressive, nearly dying for it. Nice response by TaeJa to pop out and try to focus it down, too.
Yes, very, very much. And, I mean, that's kind of what I was going to comment on as well. Good response time by him. Got out there and was able to put that down. Factory coming up now for TaeJa, along with barracks number 2 and 3. So he is going to be incredibly quick up to his, once again, up to Medivacs if he so desires. Already we see a reactor getting put down, first of all, as well. So TaeJa has just thrown so many different looks at us.
Well, you know, we could see the reactor medevacs, certainly. Another option, as that Stalker again, taking a little bit of damage, getting a little bit closer to death. But another thing we could see as well is that Marine Tank Banshee style that we've seen a lot of Terran versus Protoss players do. We saw Bjorn do that last night in Code S. against his opponent and Cloud Kingdom. So it is a really good build. It is a very strong push if you decide to do something like that, and you can kind of do it in more of an economical way. You can make it a style rather than sort of 1-1-1 all in. So wouldn't be shocked at all to see TaeJa go for siege tanks, but his style doesn't really usually revolve around that, so I think it's a little bit more unlikely.
Well, he is. He does have a tech lab open, so we're going to see something out of there at the very least. So we'll see if it's going to be Banshees of the Cloak ready. He has the resources, or very close to that, to be able to do so. And waiting. Come on,
TaeJa.
There it is. Cloak
do something.
and a Banshee.
Okay, cool. So this is going to be... Oh, interesting.
He actually saw the Twilight Council. I don't know if he clicked on it, but he did get in far enough to see it. And Creator really does like Blink on this map, pretty much in every matchup. So we'll see if it's going to be that or if he's going to throw us for a loop and try something completely different. Doesn't have enough gas for really anything yet. There's 150, and it is, survey says, Blink.
Okay, yeah. So like you mentioned, Blink is good. You can always blink into the main, try to do a little bit of damage that way. TaeJa's army is going to be a little bit slower on getting off the ground this game because he is going to be going for those Cloak Banshees too. He's not going to have quite as many units. So this Blink play from Creator could do well. And you know what does really, really well against Cloak Banshees anyway is Blink Stalkers.
That's right.
If you've got an Observer out, which Creator.Prime already does, combine that with Blink Stalkers, and it's going to be pretty tough for TaeJa to do some damage with this Banshee, although it looks like he's planning on pushing along with this.
And once again, you don't usually find yourself at a supply disadvantage versus a Protoss player at this stage, but TaeJa, everything is invested into his infrastructure. Double engineering base now going. This is almost seeming like a very Creator style of Terran, if we even want to call it that. 5 barracks once again. Already producing those add-ons right away. Now flipping into these medevacs as well. So where is that Banshee at? Out of curiosity.
I do not know. Is it right up here?
No, he actually stopped.
He canceled it.
After he saw the Twilight Council and the Robo, he decided to cancel it.
Yeah. Huh. He may have detected, too, that there was an observer in his base as well and also wanted to respond to that. I suppose that's a possibility, but
yeah,
interesting choice just to kind of swap things over like that. Now, his army and his timings are going to be a little bit off because of this, but that may be a benefit to him as well. He may be able to hit now at a time that Creator.Prime's not quite expecting, but it looks like Creator.Prime is the player who wants to hit first here, but will it work?
That's right. So we'll see if TaeJa's going to be able to get out of range here. These Marines really haven't taken that much damage. Oh, he's about to lose a medevac and does, but he gets down most of the units first. Stalkers are actually blinking right on top. They are incredibly confident that they can do the damage necessary. TaeJa backs up into the bunkers. That was a bit of an over-aggressive blink, if you ask me, but it looks like he is going to be able to cut off this command center, at the very least pick off the SCVs and do a little bit of damage here. Oh, he's going to try and get the command center, though. Looks like he prioritizes the SCVs first.
Yep, that command center is a goner. TaeJa coming out of his base to try to defend, but it is too late. Great blink play from Creator so far, really doing a good job of keeping all those stalkers alive, and he might be able to snipe a bunker. It looks like he kind of is.
Yeah.
Yep, there he goes. He did get it.
Oh, but now that that Immortal is down, this is a pretty fragile army, if I'm honest. So it's a lot of Stalkers, but Bio does a very good job at tearing through Blink Stalkers if they're unassisted.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, their slow fire rate, among other things, really makes it easy for Bio to do quite well against just Stalker builds. Now, what Creator.Prime can do here is he can try to blink into the main and just kind of be annoying, be in a lot of places at once, and try to just kind of harass his opponent down. He might, I was going to say, might decide to make some Zealots and decide to go in here, and it looks like he will.
Well, we'll see if TaeJa's going to be able to defend. He does split a pretty good concave up at the top, and the Zealots actually are coming in just one at a time, so they didn't buffer any damage whatsoever. Look at that. The Zealots just getting torn up before they're able to do anything, and now the Blink Stalkers are falling very, very quickly. Creator's going to lose the vast majority of his army. That is actually devastating for him. Not a great engagement at all, and he finds himself down 40 supply. There's the game.